to order. And everyone can stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now I'll call the meeting to order. And we're going to have a presentation of the newly appointed town council members, Turner. And we will do roll call. Sorry, roll call.
Diane Allen.
Here.
Ray Morrissey.
Yeah.
Jamie Schiffer.
Here.
Cal Ellis.
Here.
Okay. Now we'll have presentation of the newly appointed town council members. Town clerk will swear him in.
So raise your hand.
Yeah.
And repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Joseph Michael Turner,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to be true and faithful
to be true and faithful
unto this state
unto this state
and to support the Constitution
and to support the Constitution
of the state and of the United States.
of the state and the United States,
That I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge all the duties
discharge all the duties
as council member
as council member
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my abilities,
according to state law
according to state law
and local ordinance.
and local ordinance,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Joe. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Acknowledgements and announcements. The town of Exeter will bring in the holidays with its 14th annual Christmas tree lighting this Thursday, December 4th at 6:30 p.m. and we're always really right on time. On the town clerk's office on the front lawn at 675 Emerald Road, Exeter, Rhode Island. And it's a great event. Kids sing, and we have Santa coming in.
Mrs. Claus too, no? Mrs. Claus,
Oh,
yeah, also,
no.
she came with Santa.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, I believe she did, and it's from hearing through, NORAD.
Oh, okay. All right. The Exeter Public Library's annual Youth Craft Fair will be this Saturday, December 6th at 11 o'clock a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. 25 local youths will be displaying and selling their handicrafts products in partnership with Exeter Social Services. The library will be conducting a special holiday drive to benefit youths in need, and items for teens are especially needed. More information regarding the fair and the holiday drive can be found on the library website. Some of these kids are really talented. And town offices and departments' holiday closures will be Wednesday, December 10th, employee appreciation luncheon from 12 to 1 o'clock. Wednesday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. Thursday, December 25th, all day, Christmas Day. Wednesday, December 31st, half day, New Year's Eve, and Thursday, January 1st, all day, New Year's Day. Okay, approval of the agenda order.
Move to be approved as presented.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Consent agenda items are approved in one motion unless removed by a town council member. The Reynolds Charitable Trust request for approval. One, United Way, $7,000, two, Domestic Violence Resource Center of South County, $3,500, and Ryan's Lawn Care and Landscaping, $7,750. Is everyone.
I'm making a motion to approve those.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Communications. Does anyone want to pull anything?
Diane, I'd like us to consider 3, 6, and 16, please.
Three, six,
It's,
and six.
yes.
Joe, do you have anything? Jamie?
I was gonna do 10, but we're gonna be talking about number 10.
Okay.
Anything?
None for me.
George, you didn't have any?
No. Bills, appropriations, and abatements. The bill sheet, the tax assessors abatements, tax, there are none. Tax collectors abatements, none, and tax collectors remittances. Motion to approve the bill sheet?
Motion to approve the bill sheet as presented.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approval of minutes, the regular meeting, November 3rd. Regular meeting, executive session, November 3rd. Special meeting, November 10th, and special meeting, executive session, November 10th. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second. Yeah, just a point of order.
And Joe, you
You have to abstain.
But just a point of order, usually we just vote in one block. Do you want to change the method here and just vote separately? I mean, if you are, that's okay. Want to continue the way you are, that's fine.
Yeah, for this.
Okay.
I had a question too. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I noticed when I was on last time, we always had reports with liaisons. I know we only did that, and then we switched it to where if you wanted to pull your report, I'm not seeing it on here. I like to pull the report, the DPW report. I'll talk about that.
All right.
Okay?
No, we used to have a section in the consent agenda that was all reports, and you could pull from the report, but the Attorney General's office didn't agree with that agenda item.
Yeah, it's too vague, that's what I would expect. So I don't think, unfortunately, Ray, I don't think you can do that tonight, because it's not on the agenda for anything to discuss.
Yeah, I noticed that. Okay, all right. I can talk with you.
Can we,
Just a few things I want to discuss with you, that's all.
we can't then
Yeah,
put
I
that?
You can't have an agenda item that's just, so-and-so's report, which I think is probably how it used to be.
Yeah.
That was pretty common once upon a time, where every municipal officer would have their report. And then you could kind of talk about anything, and that was too far afield. So the Attorney General's office, and I think the courts as well, have said that it's too vague under the Open Meetings Act, that it doesn't fairly notice the community as to what the topic of the discussion is going to be. So I think the better course would be, if you've got something that you want to talk about a report that's come in, especially if it's a written report, to then just add it under new business for whatever the subject of the concern is.
That sounds good, thank you.
Then I'll, you have a motion and a second.
Yep.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
And abstain?
Joe abstained.
Joe.
And then approval of the 2026 Town Council regular meeting schedule. That was in our packet. And approval of the 2026 Town Employment Holiday Schedule.
I'll make a motion to approve E1 and 2.
Okay.
Second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, vacancies and appointments. Vacancies, Personnel Board, 5 members needed. We don't have anything
Nothing.
for that. Resignations, Joseph M. Turner for the Juvenile Hearing Board member.
Move to accept his resignation.
Oh, I should just tell him I.
Move to accept his resignation. I'll move to accept his resignation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, John.
And
Yeah, thank you for serving on it,
abstaining.
Joe.
And we were going to make this an inactive board temporarily, but keep it, on the books. So I'll make a motion not to post it again, and to take it off the agenda.
What was that one?
The juvenile hearing board. Instead
Okay,
of
yeah,
posting it, not to
yeah.
post it, because we're going to keep it inactive
I said you're on number
and then take it off.
Okay. All right.
A motion,
There's a second, you need a second.
a second.
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 Under
All-
discussion, Diane, I was gonna save it for the expiring term, but I did have a conversation with the superintendent last week. And he said there had been a couple of referrals through West Greenwich, and his comment was they hadn't gone too well. I didn't ask him to explain, but he said that was why we hadn't seen anything come through. That there were some, but he was aware that we had an issue. He said he brought the second letter to the attention of the school committee, and they said we thought we already addressed it anyway. I just left it at that. It's not my business, but I remember that Lynn had suggested, someone had suggested, that maybe someone might talk to him, and I happened to. So, you're right in just putting it on hold. That's the right thing to do.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are not going to have the public hearing. I think people
Well,
can.
you skipped the second.
Oh, huge section. Okay, appointments. The Exeter Rural Land Preservation Trust Committee member, 3 are needed to serve a 4-year term beginning with the date of appointment. I don't think we have anyone for that. Board of Tax Assessment Review, alternate member to serve 3-year term beginning date of appointment, and we have nothing for that. Planning clerk, we did have one person, but I think we should continue to post, because I'm not sure that this person's doesn't want a full-time job. And number 4, the building and zoning clerk. Right now, Cheryl Chorney has been doing this and has indicated she would like to continue to do this. So I will make a motion to appoint Cheryl Chorney as the building zoning clerk. Is there, oh,
Yes, I'll second.
oh,
Used to
sorry,
be.
Bernstrom. She used to be Chorney, sorry. A second?
We got one?
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Social Services Director, did we get something from Jessica?
No, and I asked her for it.
Let's continue to post that, because I know she wants to
She
continue.
she better want to continue.
Can I ask you a question? I'm
Yes.
confused by this. I thought she was employed. Am I wrong?
It was, before it was an elected position.
Correct.
And so, she had a year, you can't be, legally, according to all of our
So,
rules and regulations, she couldn't be appointed, she had to wait a year.
so
So
unless
the
she,
year is up,
unless she reapplies,
and she needs to apply.
if she doesn't reapply, then it's an open position?
Well, there's a current occupant in the position.
That's
so
correct.
She's still in the position.
She's a
right now.
carryover.
But if she doesn't reapply, then it becomes,
Yeah, but she
A
has
rollover?
indicated that she wants to.
no, I'm concerned. I'm concerned and I'm confused. If she doesn't reapply, then it becomes an open position. Is that correct?
It would be, yes.
Thank you.
So we'll continue to post that position. And then expiring terms, the juvenile hearing board alternate member, Lorraine Hassett, and she has, her term is expiring on December 5th. And so,
So she didn't get back to me about whether she wanted to be appointed. It's an inactive board.
so it's an inactive board now.
It's kind of moot
So it's
point.
kind of, so we can remove that from. Okay, now the public hearing. Unfortunately, we can't, we're going to have to postpone that until January 5th because of the newspaper missing the deadline. And so it wasn't properly advertised. And so we will continue that to January 5th.
So are we not hearing about the farm overlay?
No, because
So
it wasn't
I
properly.
wish we knew that earlier.
And now, we're going to, we go into the public comment. Comments are not limited to items on the agenda. However, items not on the agenda will not be heard and will not acted upon by the town council unless they are of an emergency. There's a 3-minute time limit per person and a 15-minute maximum time allowed for this agenda item. Section 42-46-
We're not hearing that tonight.
of the open meetings
We
act
did,
and
couldn't
the
talk
town
that earlier.
council bylaws prohibit the town council from deliberating, debating, or acting previously unposted matters during the public comment section of the agenda. State law prohibits the town council. Is this on?
You gotta get back to that. John, you can't hear John?
So you're really talking to us?
Like Patricia Wood or something.
Public comment section of the agenda. State law prohibits the town council from acting or voting upon any such matter except under emergency circumstances. The town council may, if warranted, refer such matters to appropriate committees to answer, body or official, or post the matter for consideration at a proper notice future meeting. Accordingly, because the council is obliged not to respond, the immediate silence of the town council members relative to any matter raised by the special during public comment may not be construed as any endorsement, confirmation, acquiescence, and support of, or the taking of any position concerning a matter raised by a member of the public under public comment. Public participants under public comment are also reminded that they must adhere to the dictate of sections 115.b, 117, manner of address, 119, forum and 12, enforcement of council bylaws and addressing the council during the public meeting under public comment. Okay, we have quite a few people here to speak. The first one is Mary Olash.
Do I stand right here?
Oh, sure.
Okay, I just wasn't sure I would do this. Hi, everybody. My name is Mary Bolad, and we're new to Exeter, we're new to Rhode Island, and we have a situation where, can you guys hear me okay? Am I-
Yes.
Okay. That in 2011, our neighbor was granted a 250-foot, you know what, let me put my glasses on, that might be a good idea. 250-foot frontage relief for the purpose of building a single-family dwelling. The condition was that the building permit be acquired within 1 year. There's been no single-family dwelling and no permit ever pulled. So currently, the land is being used as a farm and as a junkyard. So people actually live there in trailers also. So what we'd like, and there's actually a ton of traffic every day, all hours of the day or night. So we wanted to know what we needed to do to get relief granted in the 2011 footage revoked. That's all I,
Thank you. What's the address?
our address,
You
Yeah,
gave her
just-
that.
ours, we're 421 Hog House Hill Road.
John Olash?
As my wife stated, we purchased 2 acres on Hog House Hill Road at 421 Hog House Hill Road. We are building a house there, a single-family house, 3 bedrooms. We knew there was a right-of-way, but it was on our deed for a single-family dwelling with only outbuildings such as a garage related to a single-family dwelling. There are upwards of 25 to 40 vehicles that travel up and down our property each day, every day, 7 days a week. And there is a right-of-way 300 feet away that leads directly to the farm. It's not used, but our right-of-way is used excessively and not for a single-family dwelling. So I'm not sure who we can go to for, like my wife said, some relief from this. The house is nearing completion, and our kids and grandkids are gonna be playing in the yard, and that's just unacceptable traffic. Thank you.
John A. Cianci?
Yeah, I thought that was a sign-in, so I'm all set, thank you.
Oh,
I'm on the new business.
Leroy Diaz?
Yes, I'll be back on January 5th for the zoning change.
Oh. James Fisk?
Yeah, I'm all set at the time. Thank you.
Sherry Fraser? Lisa Davis?
Asa Davis from 46 Beechwood Hill Trail. Congratulations, Mr. Turner, welcome to the council.
Thank you, sir.
So we have mediation set for December 11th and 12th. In the interest of helping make that successful, I'd like to provide the council some background and history to help the new members get up to speed, as well as priorities for the mediation and possible directions. If the council would like, I'd be happy to outline my positions on the cases in progress and the expected directions, which I expect to be useful to the council and its solicitor regardless of the mediation outcome. I wouldn't expect to take more than 20 minutes unless the council asks questions or wants to turn it into a dialogue, which I wouldn't be opposed to. And when I'm done, I'd be happy to leave so the council can deliberate in private. I'd like to do this today before executive session. There is precedent where this is allowed, such as this past spring after the 2 state police incidents over the blocking at the end of the state drive. I wasn't allowed to attend the meeting, although other unidentified members of the public were. This list in the agenda is long, but it's not as long as it used to be, which is encouraging. It did bring to mind the analysis I did 2 years ago on the town's legal cases. In summary, per capita and on an absolute terms, Exeter is now running 2 to 4 times more cases than comparable towns, even after taking my cases out. I did file an APRA request to update this for costs incurred, and not just the case numbers, I'll report that back when it's received. I also would suggest that the council include Mark DeSisto and the interlocal trust in the discussions on these ongoing cases. Thank you. I have two correspondence. One is that really nice and that's the case report from 2023.
Nancy Anderson.
Don't laugh.
Yeah, Steve,
My name is Nancy Anderson, and for those who don't know, I'm the chair of the Board of Canvassers here in Exeter. In July of 2024, the Board of Elections came to the new location and they improved it, as I'm talking about the place up the street, as a polling place, and stated it was a better polling place than the town hall where we hold the Exeter West Greenwich school budget voting, early voting, and the primaries. The town has owned that property for approximately 3 years, and it has not been occupied. The town council voted and approved that 3 of us currently in the town clerk's hall would be moving to the new location. As of this date, there's been no talk of moving, and it seems to be at a stalemate. The Board of Canvassers understands that there would possibly be construction in the future, and we are more than willing to work around the construction. There is a current usable office that would clearly fit the current 3 members of the Board of Canvassers without the need for construction. There is internet currently, which would need to be approved for our needs, and would also need a phone service. The building is always on this agenda, but I don't know what the holdup is. It is always being pushed aside, and we really should be able to move to that building. Next year, we will see elections and have us move, will improve the current building we are in. The problem with the building here is it's not enough space for people to come in and vote and still maintain distance between themselves. I would like to see the town council finally agree for us to move, since many meetings ago it was stated we would be moving. Thank you, and hopefully we can all move forward. I'd like to be in there by March, because then that's when all of our elections will be coming from that point on. I did visit with Ken the other day. There's not a lot to clean up there. I understand that you guys are all figuring out this construction piece, but I would just like to see it move at a faster pace. Thank you.
Want me to report?
Yes, thank you.
There you go, yeah.
And Rita Cassidy.
I guess I'd be speaking on stormwater at that point in time, but I am curious about something that only the council can answer for me. Last month's meeting, this was taken off the agenda, 94 Bates Schoolhouse Road, and I was wondering why. I don't want to go on hearsay, and so the only people that can answer that question for me is the town council. Did someone in the council say that I was happy with the progress? I believe someone on the council said that I was happy with the progress, and would that be recorded in the minutes?
They can't answer any of your questions. All you can do is just present it.
Well, I have concerns that it was said by a council member who has never spoken to me about this, that I was happy with the progress. I believe the council member might even be associated in business with the person that I make a complaint about. I have never said I was happy with the progress. I made a complaint to the zoning inspector as late as October 31st because of the noise, the machinery, the log splitting, the trucks going back and forth, October 31st. And she told me that a cease and desist order was put in. Now, my video is dated October 31st, and of course, you can't see that. But obviously, my concerns are not paid any attention to. But I have great concerns that someone on the council would speak on his behalf and my behalf, saying that I'm happy with the progress. I don't even think that that council member should be voting on any of these issues, that they should be recusing themselves because of a business conflict of interest. That's all I have to say for now, except there was almost an accident tonight in front of my house with someone coming around the corner. Now, there's always speeding on Arcadia Road, the locals know, and so they speed on that road, but the troll people don't know. I can't tell you who it was, but someone coming around the corner past the 20-ton truck right in front of my driveway. If Amazon or any of the delivery trucks or someone backing out, they would have been hit. Those pictures, I'll make sure that you all have. Thank you.
Did I miss my spot? Can I say something now, since I'm on the list? James Fisk.
Oh, sure.
I'll come up here a little closer so the people in the back can hear me. I'm concerned about that same piece of property, 94 Big Schoolhouse Road. I own 42 acres, 97 Big Schoolhouse Road. When that piece of property was originally sold to the person that has it now, there was always a problem with Bates Schoolhouse Road possibly accepting the trucks of the previous owner who owned an oil company.
Whoa, excuse me, sir. I had no trucks on there.
I know you didn't. I know that. I didn't say you
I never
did.
ran my trucks on that road.
I understand
Never used
that.
that for any kind of whatever.
I understand that. I didn't say that.
We can only, like the
Sorry.
rest of the
And
council.
I know it.
not have
That's
public-
And if
fine.
you want me to speak after, I'll be more than happy.
That's fine. You can speak as much as you want. I can speak now. I live on
Sorry.
97 Bates Schoolhouse.
Oh, you got
Sorry.
3 minutes, so you're on.
Okay, so anyway, when that lot was opened up, they put a house up on top of the hill. In front of that lot, there was a trailer. In that trailer, they dug a big hole, put all kinds of stumps. I saw it. So as history goes, he went up on top of the hill or in the flats up there in his property, dug some more holes in the ground. Not knowing, as residents in the area, what was going on. We had nobody to go to. Maybe we could have went to the sheriff and told him, hey, there's trucks that are much bigger than that should be on that road going up into that piece of property. So the concern I have, because you guys apparently have to vote or have to do something with this piece of property, because I assume he's got some kind of ordinances that he wants to do, and I know my 3 minutes up. But I really feel that you're missing a whole bunch if you allow anything to be done on that piece of property on a commercial basis. It's watershed. The state has it classified as watershed. I don't know how the water runs underneath the ground, but we do know there's a big aquaflow. You can go to the federal government and find out how much big the aquaflow is there. I do know that he dug a well at 400 and some feet. I got a well that's only 90 feet driven in ledge. Another person's only 120. So with him digging the holes and put a commercial piece of property, the contamination that possibly could be there is unknowing to me. If he's gonna put a 20-ton trucks in that area for storage, I'm sure he's gonna steam clean them. Where's that waste gonna go? And I know that storage area, there's Roaring Brook that it goes down into, which goes into Arcadia Pond, which goes into Wood River and the whole, but, so anyway, that piece of property is a concern to me, because I don't think there should be a commercial piece of property there. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, read this.
Okay, new business, number A, actually, could I move something here? Okay, a request from the state commander, Veteran Service Officer John CNC property tax exemption for veterans. I'm going to recuse myself on this because it also concerns veterans getting $5,000 off. My husband's a Vietnam veteran, and we do get that $5,000 off. And part of this is, you know, involved with that. So I will come and sit.
Okay, well, Tim? Reading John's correspondence was that's for all? Or
No.
just 100%
No, that would be,
disabled?
the proposal, it's the recommendation would be for you have to be 100% service disabled according to the VA, which is a certification letter.
Excuse me, Ted, please. Excuse me, in the back, I can't hear John.
I'm sorry, I was explaining to
Yeah.
this nice young
All right,
lady
thank
where
you.
we were.
Yeah, it would not be for every veteran. It would be for 100, you have to be 100% VA service-connected disability, and which is a high bar to achieve in the VA system as it is. There's two communities right now, Situate and Cranston, that pretty much does it right now. And then,
You still want to recruit yourself from that?
Well, I thought part of it was you had said, you know, $5,000, people that have gotten 5,000 wanted that increased to be 6,000
No.
or whatever.
no, it would only be for that category. There's a specific,
So it doesn't.
100%. You would have to be, the veteran would have to be collecting 100% disability from the VA. So,
So you're all set?
So then I'm all set.
Yeah.
You're not,
I'd like to note, because I'm a 25-year retired naval officer and 100% combat service connected disabled veteran, I'm going to recuse myself from any vote on this matter.
Then probably if you can explain.
I'm sorry?
John, if you can just state your name. for the
Yep,
record.
John Cianci, Exeter resident for the last 5 years. The department commander for the Italian-American War Veterans, and I'm a veteran service officer. I thank the council for giving me the opportunity, to advocate for our, for our veterans here in the town of Exeter. Myself, I'm 22 years, retired U.S. Army, 2 tours over in Iraq, Desert Shield and Operation Iraqi Freedom. This type of, I'll open with a famous quote by President Lincoln. A nation that does not honor its heroes will not long endure. It is our nation's responsibility to care for him or her, I added to her part, who have borne a battle, and for his or her widow or widower, and his or her orphans. The town of Exeter has the opportunity of what we're doing as a grassroots operation throughout the state to bring it to our town councils, city councils about this exemption. The state of Connecticut incorporated throughout the state and went in effect in October there's 11 other states that currently do it. This type of exemption would have to start at the town or city level. You have to request it, through the Rhode Island legislative to have a law change, which I detail it in the letter and everything, and, similar to what Situate is. We are gonna make an effort to get a state law, some proposals submitted at the state level to make it across the board. But I think the town of Exeter can send a clear message that it does honor, not only the sacrifices, that the veterans made, but the struggles our veterans have, continuing with their daily lives. I can tell you, it is a quality of life issue, for the veterans, where you're rated 100%, there's not much you get. And I'm 100% too, let me make that clear too. I'm 100% disabled. It took 27 years of fighting with the VA and then recognizing that I was exposed to nerve gas sarin. If I was to pass away tomorrow, my wife could not maintain the house, that we currently live in Exeter, because she would get 60% of the income that she would be getting would be going for taxes and insurance on the house and everything. I go to these nursing homes, we go to South Kingston, and story after story, we hear the veterans and the wives and everything of their struggles financially and everything. And again, what I can tell you, when you see the disabled veteran plate, think about how many disabled veteran plates that you see. There's not that many out there. Those are the veterans that fall into this category. They give us a free license plate, and everything I appreciate. They give us a free fishing license. They give us our free license and everything. But our two bordering states, Connecticut, has passed a law that they were incorporated as of October 2024. The state of Mass realizes also that they give their 100% disabled service-connected veterans a $1,500 check twice a month to help offset their real estate, their taxes, real estate taxes, in addition to whatever exemption and everything. And I can personally tell you, it is a quality of life change, for a veteran, when you don't have to worry about financially. One burp in a veteran's life that's 100% service connected, they're getting by. I'm not going to tell you, all of a sudden the wife gets sick and hospital bills, co-payments and everything. Now it's a spiraling effect. It goes downhill for that veteran because now they're struggling financially. We lose 22 veterans a day to down to 21, which is still a high number of veteran suicide. The highest rate is veterans over 55. And you can connect some of the dots. There's no better place that I need to be able to go to my home, my safe heaven place, that I'm in my comfort zone and everything. And that's what this type of opportunity that we as a town can do for those few veterans that are in that category, and send a message to the rest of the state, because you'll see it coming. I did the article on RI News today. We're gonna go before every town and city throughout the state and everything. So as I close and everything, I thank the council for the opportunity. All the veterans here, thank you for your service. Tell your husband I said welcome home, because that's not what they got for Vietnam and everything returning. And I hope the council moves forward to make this Exeter be the first state to put in some legislation. We're going to be talking to Senator Morgan, and a few other state legislators are going to be on board of getting a statewide bill. But it starts at grassroots, starts at the city and town. And if we get enough cities and towns that send a message to the state of Rhode Island that our sacrifices and a little thing like this is, although it's money and everything, it does impact our quality of life. But any questions, or?
I know you said that there were other towns that had taken, what was it, Warwick?
Warwick did an increase. Right now, currently Situate has the exemption, and every time it gets approved by the town council for that veteran. And Cranston pretty much does, like, the value of houses have gone up, but it was almost like 300,000 in the city of Cranston. But they're looking at getting their amendment to cover it, for their veterans. So there's only 2 communities right now that do this type of exemption, and it has to be added to the Rhode Island law and everything, which I've got a copy of how the law for Situate is and Branson and everything. Any other question? All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
He lives in Dearborn.
Does anyone have comments?
You said you wanted 3 years retroactive.
What I've learned with dealing with the government, you ask for this, and you hopefully get that. So it's definitely something that I put in there to consider. And I think probably if there is 5 veterans in the town of Exeter that are at that 100%, that might be a high number. 3, so you're probably dealing with like three veterans, so.
Okay, we did get a notice from Kerry, the 100% talking about that. And she does say that, the town, basically, we have, most of our tax revenue comes from taxpayers and property owners for houses. And so we don't have the business, we don't have, very much coming in for business or other things. An awful lot of our land is not taxable with Audubon Society, various other things, plus the state of Rhode Island owns a lot of our land also, and we don't get anything from that. So I think it might be hard on the taxpayers to give 100%.
In other words, what she's trying to say is we can't afford it. And it's a great thing, and it breaks my heart, but I don't think this town can afford it. Would, a question Marita's here, would that affect our state aid at all?
No, it wouldn't affect our state aid as far as I'm aware. We get very little state aid.
Yes.
Our tax base just, I wish it could support social programs like that, but as Carrie said, we just wish it could.
Okay, so this is an email received from our tax assessor, Carrie Crocker, right, still, yeah. And I just want to read, she breaks it down to the numbers and how much it's going to be, how much we're not going to get revenue if we do what Mr. Sansi poses. I just want to read what she summed up. She says, in the last paragraph, she says, it's important to note that the town has a very limited tax base due to the minimum presence of commercial property and a large number of tax exempt properties. The town can no longer assess taxes on motor vehicles based on a state mandate and receives limited reimbursement of that loss of revenue. Given these financial constraints, implementing a 100% property tax exemption may present challenges to the town's overall physical capacity. I don't think we can afford that. We can't afford it. Maybe we can, for you folks, maybe we can raise the exemption.
Well,
maybe instead of.
Yes, can I, Ray, can I speak?
No, you're right ahead. Go right ahead, sir.
And I do and I don't want to sound callous at all. It's commendable in your service. It's commendable. Thank you. But I'm wondering exactly what you said. Is there somewhere we might go that recognizes something more than a minimum amount that people receive? Or is that just sort of, I understand what you're asking, and we know that our assessor has said we might not be able to do that much, but Ray, I think you're onto something about considering something that's in addition to what they currently receive, but not necessarily 100%.
So right now, John, you guys receive 10 grand of
the
assessed value,
assessment.
5 and 5, correct? The regular 5
I
standard?
think I just get 5. I
You
don't-
just get 5, you don't get the extra 5, another 5?
No, because the disabled is 65 or older, if according to, so I've never applied for that. So I get like $90, off my final, real estate,
Right,
tax bill.
Yeah, that's what I get, yeah.
Well, that's what I mean.
If,
I'm sorry.
if I can add one thing, yes, the financial side is obviously something that has to be weighed heavily. But the way the town of Situate has their ordinance, and I got a copy of the law and everything, that they can approve any amount of, that they determine for those veterans that are 100% a Gold Star mother, a veteran that has an adopted house. So maybe the town of Exeter, that we can seek the state approval that an increase in exemption based on the town council approval. Not saying that the town, you have to do any approval, because that's where if we can start this grassroots operation at each level, and just like the state got rid of the state, car taxes, then maybe we can get a line item to fund it. That's the problem that we have as veterans. If you go to the state of Connecticut and the state of Mass, they have a veteran service officer in every town and city that helps those veterans navigate, for their benefits and what their entitlements are, from medical to everything. We don't do that in Rhode Island because when it was a federal law, but then it became unfunded. And but it could be some type of language, and I'll get a package submitted of the exact language and everything in the law, where it can be submitted to the state to say that, hey, a later amount, or that can be determined based on the final financial resources, of the town or city. And if we get like 4 or 5 cities or towns that we can do that, and we get enough support at the state level, then maybe it's something that the state can fund, for reimbursement, for that exemption for the veterans and everything.
But they don't tax on military pension.
Well, that took
That's
many
been
years.
going on for-
So, yeah, they just started that 3 years ago.
In 2021, yeah, okay.
Like I said, we're not looking at a large amount of number. If I showed you my list of disabilities from the VA, pins in my heel, my neck, and that, it looks like I have a rap sheet, and the VA does not give out 100% like candy, it is, they've determined that you're gonna get worse, and that your source of income has been limited, from the day that you pretty much, came off active duty and everything. So it's not something, but like I said, I understand the financial side of it, but also the language can be that, hey, at least we get it worded like the town of Situate, that it goes back to the town council that says, okay, maybe we can do a second 5,000 or phase it in, but having that option, but it sends a message that Exeter could lead an effort, that we're trying to do more for our veterans and improving the quality of life for the veterans.
Okay, thank you.
Can you just clarify something, Ray? You stated that the town can't afford it. Did they come up with an estimate of what they thought that total cost would be that they couldn't afford?
Yeah, it did. There's a letter from Carol.
Mary Beth, could you raise your hand?
I'm sorry, Mary Beth Moyer. I just
Wait
wanted
till
to,
you're selected to speak.
pardon me?
The process is you raise your hand and then the president will call upon you to speak.
I just want, he said that, he made this statement that the town can't afford it, and I wondered if they had made a total calculation of what they estimated that amount to be that we could not afford, that the town could not afford.
Yes, she did.
Maria, you want to say something?
But we don't have a current number.
One of the problems is that we don't know exactly how many people would even begin to qualify. I think that she had calculated, 3 people?
3 people.
At about $29,000-$30,000 in total for the year. So, I mean, in and of itself, it doesn't sound like a lot, but, you know, when you start multiplying it and, you know, all the exemptions alone are over $2 million that we give for elderly and military and any other sliding scale, there are a lot, you know, there's so many things that decrease our tax base. I mean, my recommendation is try to increase the tax base, and then, of course, wouldn't it be, well, I mean, you're asking, you know, you're taking, you're not giving, you gotta give, so you can increase the, so, I mean, that's, you know, that's,
Yeah, I
it's
think
just
we had a better business
it's an
case.
it's an unfortunate thing that, you know, every penny counts, every penny counts.
So what do you think about raising the exemption?
That would have to be looked at.
Is that something that has to go before the voters, at the financial town meeting?
No, I don't think so.
I don't believe so,
Is
but.
it like a loss of revenue?
They have to go legislative, John, you have to look at Pat, legislation. Pat, raise your hand.
Maybe raise your hand.
Doesn't matter.
Asa?
Sorry, just point of order. If you're talking about raising the exemption generally, then I think 1, 2, 3 do have to recuse. If you're talking about specifically.
No, what
for-
John
We're
is saying.
talking 100%.
We're talking about what's the
Specifically for
100%.
100%, then you're okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
With John, open dialogue with John, all the work he's done. And for all our veterans who can really take a bang with the 100%, that's, but, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mary Beth?
So John indicated that his taxes are roughly $5,000 per year, and if we're looking at roughly 3 households, and I think $5,000 falls a little bit more in line with an average home. You know, people who are challenged to pay taxes are not in exorbitant houses that probably have a $10,000 tax bill. Could there be some reconsideration on looking at what that amount is? Because if it's 5,000 times 3 people, that's 15,000. And I understand that, you know, we could say up to a certain limit, there's ways to do it, so 100% up to 7,000 or something, like, there could still be a ceiling, but would there be any room for reconsideration? I know we give a lot of tax exemptions to a lot of people, but I think this is right up there in priority. I'm just asking for reconsideration, looking at a more realistic estimate of what that total amount would be.
I think she pretty much, Carrie, researched that with the 3 that she knew about and said that was the amount, 29,000.
Okay, thank you, Diane.
But we could look at increasing a certain amount, you know, like it's 5,000 now, maybe 10,000. But I think it would be something we'd have to discuss during the budget process, rather than tonight. Yes.
You know, John Cianci again. And I just remind that it's not only the veteran, it's for, you know, we go to war and we're fighting for to keep our freedom and making sure that our family, and we just lost a 20-year-old in Washington DC, 20 years old. And, you know, she sacrificed her life, and, you know, and that's what we're willing to do. And many of this, you know, we're hoping that we're gonna get a state bill passed, but I do urge the council to look at how it is worded in Situate. And even if there isn't any financial commitment at this time, but ask the state to change the Exeter, the way the wording for Exeter, that they can make any change, you know, financial change, you know, for that, you know, for the 100% disabled veterans.
Diane, I'm gonna ask that we continue this item to unfinished business next month. And if the gentleman can provide us with the Situate information, that'll give us something to look at. And I don't think it's it's not unreasonable for us to consider some assistance. 100% may be too more than, and there may be more than 3 people, by the way, because I don't think that Carrie, she knows of 3 people, there may be other people. So I would ask, unless the council objects, I would ask that it be continued under unfinished business, so we can address it again next month.
So you would get us a documentation with the situation?
Yeah, yes. I'll see,
To Lynn?
I'll see if I can get any, maybe the town sheriff, you know, with, how many veterans have this, if you see that disabled veteran plate, that's 100%. That is not given out to any other veteran. You have to get the letter from the VA, and you have to go, like my plate is number 8, and it's a disabled veteran plate. So maybe we can get some number from the registry, or, you know, and see if we can get a find out number and everything. So, but I will do some more research, and there are some towns and communities that do increase. I think Warwick had theirs increased last year. They went up to, don't hold me to it, but they give the 100% disabled veterans $450 credit. But I'll gather all that information. You know, I already have it. There's a 2022 study that they came out with, so I just have to look at it on the update side of it. Any of those communities that are doing additional, there's only about 8 that have some additional, but Cranston and Situate are the most, have gone to the next level.
Would you let us look at it?
Yep, I'll submit it formally and everything, just like I did, you know, and everything.
Send it to Lynn.
And unless I'm in the Virgin Islands, I'll be here next month.
Okay, so we'll continue this until next month. And thank you for your service.
Thank you.
You too, Joe.
The Public Works request for a stop sign on the corner of House Hill Road and Fritz Corner Road, the mail road. Ralph?
Yep. Good evening. Yeah, so one resident did come approach me on this issue. I believe it could be a spot for a four-way, actually, you know, have to be identified as a four-way. One dead end, and it's like a 3-way active. It's kind of dangerous. It's not lined up straight.
That's a dangerous curve, too.
It's a dangerous curve, and nobody does the speed limit, which means they're probably not going to stop.
Why do this?
They don't stop.
So they're probably not going to stop at a stop sign, but we can, you know.
It's a step in the right direction.
It's a step in the right direction. We're doing a lot of that, you know, we're doing a lot of stuff, we're trying to make it safer, but, you know, putting lines on the road that kids are just making black with tear-ups, and you're just trying to erase them on us. But yeah, I'd be for this. If council would want me to, they could put me in motion to set that up. I'd have to buy the four-way and so on, but
That would be a recommendation, would it?
yeah, that would be my recommendation.
I'll
It's a
move
good
to-
spot for some
move
safety,
to,
slow them down.
Move to approve Rob Shabby's recommendation for the stop sign.
Okay,
I'll
I'll
second.
second that. Oh. Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Rob.
And now see the Rhode Island State Police, they request to mount clock cameras on standalone structures powered by solar on Route 165 at the Connecticut line and on Route 102 at Route 3 and on Route 3 at Route 102.
Hi, Captain Mark Album with the Rhode Island State Police, how are you?
Very
Album,
good.
ALB as in Boston, OUM as in there. I'll try
Welcome to
to,
Exeter.
what's that?
Welcome to Exeter.
Thank you, been here before.
I know you have.
I'm gonna try to make it as brief as possible, but I'm pretty into these cameras. So regarding the flock safety cameras, the Rhode Island State Police are committed to enhancing public safety, eliminating crime, and strengthening highway security across multiple jurisdictions throughout the state and the nation. To that point, I have secured already 39 cameras through a grant that are going to be deployed when this whole process of onboarding is completed for 3 years minimum. And in hopes of all my success stories keep it going. And this tool it's been amazing. We're already using other cities and towns and other states' cameras to solve crimes. I can go on and on, I'm not gonna bore you with all the testimonials, but automatic license plate recognition cameras have and will continue to help enable the ability to support modern policing through data-driven, resource-optimized solutions. Flock safety cameras provide automated vehicle recognition, real-time alerts, and advanced analytics. The capabilities significantly aid law enforcement in responding to active threats, for example, mass shootings or school shootings, etc., investigating crimes and maintaining situational awareness. Especially critical given the staffing challenges faced by many agencies nationwide, and specifically this town that doesn't have a operating police force 24/7. With persistent staffing shortages, these cameras help alleviate the need for manpower and man hours, and I'm not saying that it replaces bodies in any way, but it maximizes investigative efficiency. They provide real-time alerts, such as Amber Alerts for missing children, Silver Alerts for elderly that are missing, and what's coming into effect is a Purple Alert for adults with mental and cognitive disabilities. So I don't know if you remember the thing in Cranston where the girl with autism was lost. She was found in a car. It would have alerted to that when that goes into effect. It also, through NCIC and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, in addition to other customized hotlines. So basically, if it's in NCIC, if you have an Amber Alert as such, if we have a vehicle plate, it reads the back of a vehicle, it's gonna pick up the license plate, it's gonna alert police where the car is, and it's gonna have a quicker response. Flock safety cameras will only maximize the ability to collaborate across jurisdictions and respond swiftly to emerging threats. The cameras offer a vital enhancement to our public safety infrastructure, improving situational awareness and investigative outcomes. Their deployment aligns with both technological advancement and operational efficiency, while respecting civil liberties through robust privacy protocols. Currently in the state of Rhode Island, flock technology is utilized by 14 municipalities, 5 commercial properties, 2 Department of Housing and Urban Development communities, 1 neighborhood association, 1 town school district, and 1 college campus of Rhode Island College. Ethically, there is no facial recognition, there's no speed tracking, there's no undiscerning evidence gathered. Flock safety cameras have no public IP and therefore are not addressable remotely to access footage. All data collection points are equipped with secure communication protocols to protect data in transit from interception and tampering. All data is encrypted using industry standard algorithms before being transmitted to the servers. In addition to being certified by the FBI's Criminal Justice Information Services, they are compliant with the National Defense Authorization Act, the Higher Education Community Vendor Tool, HIPAA, and Family Educational Rights. They are also aligned with the security protocols established by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, cybersecurity, as well as the Cloud Security Alliance's framework. Not only are they going to help solve crimes, but they also assist us in exonerating suspects. I assure you that through the use of flock cameras, the goal of law enforcement is not to jump to immediate conclusions. However, these cameras provide a great investigative lead that can fill many gaps within an investigation. Again, I can tell you there's so many testimonials of positive impact these cameras have had so far. It's beneficial. The state of Connecticut on your border has multiple cameras all throughout. South Kingstown's getting their own cameras. We're kind of deploying in and around other deployments in the state. I'm not too sure about North Kingstown, but I know South Kingstown will have them on the 138 side near Route 2 to cover some of the areas that we're not able to cover. They do have a 30-day retention period, so after 30 days, any records that are in there are gone. And just to get a better picture, it's taking a photograph of a rear vehicle and a license plate. It's not running the license plate. It's not telling us who you are. Again, it's just a tool we're going to use to enhance our investigations and move them further. The town of Exeter is not being asked to sign up with Flock, as the contract will be between the Rhode Island State Police and Flock. It encourages, Flock encourages customers and policies, guidelines. Rhode Island State Police will be operating on a stringent policy, as well as a memorandum of understanding with other agencies who we allow to share the data. Similarly, these cameras, you see them all over the state. You have the speed cameras, you have the red light cameras. This is not what it does. It's simply picking up the license plate for us, that's it. And again, I can go on and on and on. I will say that case recently up in Central Falls, in Pawtucket, where that poor 24-year-old female was murdered, taken into Pawtucket and dumped. That whole thing was followed on flock cameras. Able to get them from Central Falls to Pawtucket and back to Central Falls. So I would ask that you strongly consider deployment.
2 points of clarification. The camera on 165, will it be imaging bidirectional or just into the state or out of the state?
It will be, I have it right here. The one on 165 will be towards Exeter, so coming into Exeter.
Okay. And then additionally, will there be any future consideration for the eastern part of our town on 10 Rhode, where it intersects South County Trail?
Yes, and I think I've got to relook at, so as this has been going on for almost a year, this whole planning, their deployment team gave me a lot of these locations based on other deployments from other cities and towns. So I do have to get an updated one, and if you feel, I mean, I was basing it off of what we see in the state police and where the crimes are occurring and how we better help the B&Es and the larcenies and all that stuff, but I'm open for suggestion if you have a better placement you would want, definitely.
So I read in a local news outlet lately that the ACLU is challenging the flock cameras. So
They are, and what I can tell, again,
On what grounds?
I'm sorry?
On what grounds are they challenging?
Well, they're
False
saying
claims.
that they can use it to track people and so on and so forth. I know.
It's,
That's what I
sure,
read,
it's
so I just
tracking,
wanted to bring
it's
that up.
tracking vehicles, it's not tracking people.
People, that's what they're saying.
I can go on and give you the testimonials and the false claims that I just got from Flock actually today, because this is my third town hall meeting, so I know what some of the questions are, but, so for instance, the claims, let me try to get one. Flock has been hacked, that's a claim. Flock's platform has never been hacked. A recent YouTube video claims 80,000 cameras have been hacked. This is false. The YouTuber in question gained limited access to one older generation camera that had never been connected to their system and had never received a security update. Flock pushes out updates frequently. They're not connected to each other, so that's a false claim. I don't want to bore you all night. They have saying Flock has inadequate security standards. That's false. We now have multi-factor authentication to get into the system, and there's a footprint, a fingerprint of every time an officer goes into it, it's going to be tracked. And when we have our final policy and our final MOU, people will be held accountable. If you know the state police, we hold you accountable. You're not gonna, you just randomly search for an ex-girlfriend, an ex-boyfriend, and so be it. It's law enforcement related, and that's it, or else you're gonna pay the price.
I'll make a motion to approve the recommended flock cameras with also future consideration for additional deployments throughout the town of Exeter.
I'll second that.
This discussion?
Any more discussion?
Yeah, please. I'm fascinated by what you said. That one thing you said, we're not looking at people, we're looking at a registration plate for the vehicle, but can't you find out who's in the vehicle or who owns the vehicle?
Eventually.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, but
And the other question I had is, I thought initially you must be here because of the coverage that state police provides the town, but that's not why you're here, is it? Because you said you're meeting with other towns that obviously have police departments.
So I have 39 cameras that I'm deploying. I'm trying to do the most methodical way from the crimes
Right,
we've been
so-
handling, like highway, we've had a lot of highway shootings up in the Pawtucket and Providence area, so we're trying to get,
So it's kind of a statewide.
trying to get as much
initiative.
coverage, but
Yeah.
somebody does a B&E in Exeter, and they're going to another jurisdiction, we can see the pattern. And just so you get an idea of what it is like, for instance, let's say, a kid was taken, right? And somebody says, I saw a blue Honda with a Connecticut license plate. I can, what I paid for Flock, I can type in blue Honda, Connecticut license plate, and it'll go poof. And it's gonna give me the license plate number. Now I have a lead. And then if it went into an Amber Alert on the hot list in NCIC, if that thing's driving all the way through the state of Connecticut, which has a bunch of cameras, it's gonna hit, and it's gonna say, just past this camera, boom. And then we can converge.
I appreciate Mr. Turner's motion, and I just was curious about it. And no cost for the town.
Nope,
It's,
correct.
State police are picking this up.
It's $3,000 per camera, and we're paying.
It's solar powered.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is highly beneficial for our town, specifically for life safety purposes, for, you know, the townspeople, the constituents, so I'm 100% in favor of it. And additional, you know, if the state police believes there's other areas that would benefit the town of Exeter, let's consider additional rollout in the future.
Absolutely. We definitely need more in town, there's no question.
Probably more in the state.
Yes.
That too, I'm working on it.
Any?
Sorry, one question. These are all state roads?
They are.
How far are the cameras from the roadway itself?
That's a good question. I don't know, the deployment team, it's not gonna be, they're gonna be off quite a bit, and they don't look, I don't know, if they're not very eyesore either.
Well, so the reason I'm asking is if they're close to the roadway, then they would possibly be winding up on the DOT property of the state.
So DOT, so with this process goes, and then the permitting team from Flock is going to propose it to DOT. So this is the first process.
So the cameras themselves go on the DOT?
Yes.
Right away?
Yes.
Okay, right, that's understood.
Okay, anyone else from the council?
Do you anticipate any pushback from DOT?
I do not.
Okay.
Because they've already, in other jurisdictions, they've already given their blessing.
They're in place,
Yes.
they're in place already.
Yes.
Good.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The only thing I would ask is I need for the DOT, something on a letterhead that you included. I can get you an example. If you give me an email or something.
You know, we talked tonight about veterans and serving the country. We want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Definitely. And keeping us safe, and we appreciate it. Like you guys do, so.
I'm gonna send this to you.
Yes, do you wanna make a motion that Diane can sign this letter? How do we handle this letter?
So moved.
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
So moved, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you
Kathy.
for your service. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you see yours?
I've done that before. I'm kind of important. Thank you.
Okay, then we're up to D, proposed amendments to the Exeter Code of Ordinances, Chapter 15, Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 3, Growth and Impact. I think we, Marie.
So, we have to update, go out to the RFP to update the, growth management ordinance. We did the impact fees, so that would, naturally follow, and, spoken to Bill. And, you know, he would like to see it updated. So,
So
We,
we have maybe you and Ken work on it.
well, is it contract, is it using contractors now, or? Because Ken says yes.
No, it is kind of, we need something like Ben did for our impact fees, so. It doesn't go hand in hand.
it seems to be a natural progression to update this
Oh, sure,
ordinance.
but, I mean, we'll be looking for
For
someone to
somebody, yes,
engage.
correct.
So you're looking for a request, go out to bid for a request?
Yes.
And the purpose for the RFP is for a consultant to make recommendations about proposed amendments to the growth management ordinance?
Correct. And that's what we're-
Well, I'll make that motion if that's where we're at, to post an RFP to try to get some help to do that.
I'll second that.
Okay, any more discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. E and F are kind of the same thing. Schoolhouse road land use and stormwater issues, and the notice of violation and cease and desist orders enforcement.
No, but actually they are, and I'm sorry, because I asked for both of these on the agenda. And the first one, the one that we took off last month, I got a call the very next day that suggested that there were still some significant issues. So I said, well, I'd like to put it back on the agenda to see where we are and where we're going with that. And so that's separate from F, which is a more general enforcement issue that I'm concerned about. So we're at 8 Schoolhouse Road, and I know that Ms. Cassidy's already alluded to the fact that there were issues. So I don't know if you want to ask her if
I
she...
think we discussed this earlier tonight.
Well, she did. I mean, I don't know if I'd just like to ask if she has anything else she'd like to say to us.
I do. I really do.
I'd like to hear from her.
Can you come up here, please? I'm having trouble hearing you.
I know, and I used to speak and teach at different newspapers, and it's very difficult for me to project because it's like yelling.
That's fine, right from
You
where
can
you're at,
yell.
it's fine.
We'll
Go
we
ahead.
can yell.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I come again before you. I would have last month because, again, I'm imploring on you the quality of life. And I live in a CR5 zone, and I just want to, this is the smallest definition that I could find, if I could just share it between you
Sure.
guys, maybe?
Thank you.
You got your own copy?
Sure.
And I practically know this by heart, and I just want to restate, I have lived here since 1961. My family has been taxpayers, and I'm going to give a copy of something that I'm going to be referring to. We've been taxpayers since 1961 in our family, and I've been paying taxes on the property with the house on it since 1972. And my property looked very, very nice. From 2006, I've paid property on taxes on all the other pieces and tried to keep them nice. I didn't invest money in them. My piece, the one with the house, I have, and it's a nice piece. CR5 has impacted me, and in this journey I have so many notes. The impact, not a soul has ever come and looked at the properties, and I'm just speaking on behalf of the northern neighbor, me, and those 4 parcels that I own. There are more northern neighbors, some of them are in this room, that are impacted by this activity. Wood processing might be allowed on property. But when that CR5 property turns into Warwick Tree Service, those people are big, and they have lots and lots of lights, and they have lots and lots of trucks. There are 6 trucks, and sometimes there's a convoy that leaves my house in the morning, a convoy of trucks. Beep, 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 beep. I'm waking up every morning whether I want to or not. Before I had the heart problem, it was 7 o'clock in the morning. My neighbor says he never got any of the complaints. Well, eventually Mr. Morgan must have said something to him. We called him directly, my neighbor. We used to bring him vegetables. We were stupid because we never thought that the town would ever allow anything that would impact the quality of our life. 2 of those people have now died, my husband and my sister. Their quality of life, in addition to the things that I'm going to mention to you, they couldn't breathe, they couldn't go outside, they had silt in the air all the time. The noise constantly waking them up. This is a CR5 zone. We're supposed to be in the middle of a forest. And I can remember my dad, he couldn't have an electronics repair shop because he was a nuclear engineer, but he also made money fixing TVs. I left something over there because the town of North Kingstown also respects those areas that you can't have a business, regardless of whether wood processing or not. It's a business. It's a tree service. It's 4 20-ton trucks, not 2. And I know about the violations because I'm going to be there on October 11. It said 2 trucks because somebody came. Nobody's been there for 5 years. We've been bitching for, I had the heart thing, 2022. We've been complaining. I mean, Dixie, every time she must have seen our number come up on her phone, she must have wanted to cry. Okay? The noise, the silt, the trucks, the runoff, the erosion. I have such a loss of use. The house I live in is 4 bedrooms. I know what it's valued at, and it would be to a would-be buyer until they woke up in the morning there. Somebody would be coming after me really fast. The property next door, the one 79 Arcadia Road, which is listed in something I'd like to also bring up to you. I thought that when I got old, I could build a small little place for me to be, because 4 bedrooms and the land that I've turned into a workhorse now because I've got a 75-foot perennial flower bed and other buildings I have to maintain. I'm getting older, and when I get old, how can I move even closer to all that noise, silt, and erosion? My sister was a little different, and she had some friends come and take a couch out of her house, and instead of putting it in the driveway with easy access, her and her best friend moved it out into the open field, expecting that her best friend's son would come and get that couch. It is such an eyesore. I cannot tell you the arguments that I had with my sister. Well, erosion channeled the access. Each piece of property has 2 egresses or access if police, fire, and rescue. You can't use one of them anymore because of the erosion. and the state road, when I went to see them, they said, we'll try to fill that in and channel the water. The silt that's been building up around that couch, that they moved it with a car, they pushed it out there. You can't do that now. The silt that's around that couch, that's from the runoff, is so deep. And I have pictures of that. I have the videos of all the runoff. The fruit trees have been killed. We used to plant vegetables because the ground was so fertile and you could crumble it in your hands. And on the top field, it was fertile and you could crumble it in your hands. The whole thing is now washed out by continuous silt deposits. You would think that a glacier was forming up there and it was melting. And Mr. Fisk talked about the digging. I know for a fact what was put in those holes. I call it the Mr. Romanoff effect. I've been there since 1961. My dad was also a gentleman farmer, so I keep 6 chickens. Do you know, for the first time since 1961, I had rats. Because rats love to live in the roots that were there. Now, with 35 acres worth of land, if this were the land, this is where the house is, this is where the state forest is, there are no people living over there. But the commercial wood processing is done abutting my property. And that was on the video that I sent to Miss Ellsworth. And I don't even know if she listened to it, but apparently he shouldn't have been processing wood on October 31st. But I have that sound captured. I have trucks going in and out all the time after that. And if they don't say tree service, because it's a tree service, not just wood processing, it's raised firewood. So between all of the vehicles, it's a constant stream of traffic. And just tonight, I don't make this stuff up, and Arcadia Road is small. I mean, the traffic, I took advantage of it. I called here to make sure I could have a yard sale. And I was like, yes. And the traffic was incredible. The weekend after, because people are going to go see the troll. But even if it's not a troll street, can you imagine having your area, next to your house, a business? You know there's going to be lights in there someday. He's going to want to put garage to service those vehicles in there. It's snowballing, and it's conservation. It should be for farming, for nursery, for forestry activity, but tree service is a business. That's not forestry activity. Not a commercial wood yard. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that you spent the money that you did to do the peer review. And I found out, because you paid for it, a lot of money, I could get a copy of it. And I did. The thing that I was most disappointed about it was, I don't know who is supposed to contact me. I don't know who is supposed to read this. I wonder if you paid for it, did you read it? And did you know that everything that I said to you, you didn't need to have a picture because you paid $3,000 or so to have it put in writing in that peer review. It's all here. It talks about the northern abutting neighbors. It talks about the silt. It talks about Brushy Brook Road. It talks about going east and getting into Brushy Brook. It talks about loss of use. It made 16 comments. And I don't know if anybody was supposed to call me. Nobody did, but I got the report. I called the DEM. And you know what the DEM said? There could be questions, but only the town can request a modification on the plan that was sent to the DEM. So my question to you is, who did read this? Did you have the zoning inspector look at this? Is this not the time? You can't talk to me either?
Oh, no.
You can't
We can
talk?
talk.
Hmm?
We can talk.
So that's my question. Did anybody look at this?
I think we all probably.
We had copies, yeah.
I know the planner did, I'm quite sure.
So did the zoning inspector and the building inspector look at this?
I can't speak to that, I don't know.
But shouldn't they? Shouldn't they? Because when I told Mr. Nicholas Pisani of Stormwater, because see, the DEM is kind of like the town of Exeter. No one in this department talks to that department, talks to that department. I was upset because there was no exchange of conversation between DEM and town, but interdepartmentally, I'm finding that out now. So you spent megabucks.
Well, I'm sure the zoning inspector, you know, because he's interested in this, has probably read that.
He or she. Our zoning inspector is, mine is Karen Ellsworth. She doesn't do site inspections, so I don't have anybody to come out. When I have a complaint, I have no one to come out, because Karen doesn't do field operations. So you think that Karen saw this?
Oh, I'm sure she
Okay. Is anybody acting on this? As I'm your taxpayer, I've been paying taxes, or my family's been paying taxes since 1961. Do you offer no help to your taxpayer? You just see, oh yeah, they're doing that to her property, okay, but the DM says it's okay. I'm gonna ask you if you can help me get those plans modified so that there is no incursion, encroachment on my property. Are you able to do that for me?
We're working still on that situation. We are working on it with Karen.
So Karen has seen this.
Oh, I'm sure she has. But I don't want to say that for sure, but I'm pretty sure she has. No, I never, didn't ask her specifically if she had seen it.
I'd like to just bring you back into the loss of use. The loss of use, the storing of material, the storing of commercial equipment. It doesn't conform to residential use. And when he wants to install lights so that instead of me being able to, and I suppose part of our problem, the people that are crying about this happening in a CR5, we are the morons that like to look at the stars at night. It's dark. We get on our back steps. We look for Aurora Borealis. We look, you know, we have the ponds. I have watershed in back of me, a budding neighbor. It's had a big impact, and I implore you to help me, because I don't know where else to turn. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And is it okay if I ask Karen if she's seen this? I can ask her, right?
Sure.
And I can ask Mr. Di Francesco if he's seen this? Thank you.
How about me? Can I say something again? Because the top one is probably something to do with me.
Jimmy is a budding neighbor, and a budding neighbor.
In that number one there, it says wastewater on Big Schoolhouse Road. That is probably me, because that's the majority of that wastewater is put. However, on my property, however they decided to do that. So many years ago, the director of roads put in 2 culverts at the end of those 2 driveways. One was to make sure the water that was potted, that went into our field, went down into a dry well. And I think it was Mr. Green at that point in time. I think he was the director. So he went in there and put 2 culverts in there where the water would run down. Well, on 94, that culvert's been run over now, so it's not in use. Now, we're talking about Bates Schoolhouse in the stormwater. So on the one piece of property I have along the road frontage, that's dry, that's dry to build a house on. Well, the water, the way it's situated, the water now goes into that piece of property. So that is stormwater. I don't know if you can, I'm pretty sure you can't put your water into my property. I'm pretty sure of that. So you might have to dig something into the ground to rectify that situation. And just rectify it, I'm not really sure about that, how you're gonna rectify it. But that is all wastewater in there. It's all wastewater, goes onto my property, and I know Exeter has a great thing, they just dig a cuff so the water can run off it. It's on half of the town roads that they have, so the water can run off into that. Well, that wouldn't be done in the city of Cranston, or that wouldn't be done in Warwick. They'd have to put some kind of ability to hold that water somehow, drain it. It could go into the property, but they just can't dump it. So that's the wastewater issue I have there. I'm concerned about rectifying that, and let's see, born in 1953, so that puts me 72. So at that point in time, my father, they were there, they died in 90. So they were 90 years old. So they've been paying taxes on that whole piece of property, and when Mr. Scott there got upset about putting trucks on that road, that was one of the things. They were still using that road as elderly people. And those trucks are way too big for going on that road. Now, I don't know about the stipulation. No, I don't know about the stipulation.
Sir, we have to move on. We let you speak, and we were courteous to you, and you keep going on and on. We need to move on.
You have it as new business.
She's trying to tell you that, but you keep talking over.
So you're gonna direct the new business to the rec? That is new business, right? Is that concerned about that?
Well, it's not on the agenda for new business anyway. But, Calvin, did you have anything else to say?
I do. If we're on to F, 9F. The reason I put this here is because we've all seen, well, some of us have seen, and you will soon, the host of violation of copies that we got issued by both the building inspector, now our zoning inspector. And I was asking David about follow-up, and I think what we need to talk about is what kind of
Excuse me,
support.
I can't, excuse me, Mr. Ellis, I can't hear him talking when you're talking, sir.
Well, I was just asking your
Can you please stop
director,
talking so I can listen to him?
if this article here was part of what I was applying to. Now, you're telling me that it's not. It either is or it isn't. So you just rode over it, and Cal, he's been around for years, and he just rode over it.
Well, I was asked, I think the point is, here's the point, if I could, yes, I've been around for 20 years.
Yeah, I know, you've been on the council.
20 years.
Against you.
Here's the point these people are making. We have other business that we have to attend to, and I think their point, unless I misunderstood, was that we need to move on, and we're glad you had an opportunity to share, and so did Ms. Cassidy. We need to address other issues. I can skip mine, and we can move to something else, if you think that's appropriate.
Are you asking me the question?
No, it's rhetorical.
Well, then either rhetorical towards me, or do you want to go on? Is that what you want to do?
No, I placed the item on the agenda because I think it's important for us to address follow-up, but on violations that are issued. That's why I placed it here.
Well, thank you.
Did you want to say more?
Yes, what I want to say is that I think, and in talking to David about follow-up, he said, yes, he had good follow-up on one of his notices and not on others. And I'm not sure how many of Ron's, and these are just from the last couple of months, October, whatever. But I think we should think about what we do to enforce. And David's suggestion, which I thought was a good one, was like 3 strikes. After 3 strikes, we fine, or we go to SWAT, we do something. Or we put a lien on property. We just don't ignore. I think the town has a history of receiving and ignoring, and I know we've heard some of that from our local folks here with concerns. So I just thought that we ought to talk about what do we do to enforce notices of violation. So I don't think we can answer it tonight, but I really would like our solicitor to think about this.
I can give you a little background on what our sort of internal processes have been on this, I think, since time immemorial. Basically, to enforce any kind of a zoning violation, the thing to do is you go to court. That's really the option that the town has. Now, my office obviously has been involved in representing the town for many, many years, and the policy that we have always observed is that we're not going to file a lawsuit in the town's name, absent, maybe some extenuating circumstances, without the council directing it. So the steps that we would generally want to see happen is whichever inspector has noticed some problem, brings that to the attention of the council and asks the council to direct us to take some sort of enforcement action as determined by the council. That's generally what we would like to see. If the council would like for that to change, that certainly can change at the council's request.
Well, I don't remember, excuse me, Ken, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but in the 20 years that I've sat here, I don't remember such cases. But I do remember lots of violations. I have a stack of them at home, and I would just be curious to know whether they follow up, and maybe Ron doesn't follow up, because maybe he's not sure what to do. And my conversation with David was, because he's trying to jump into this new position he's got, he suggested that maybe we make it our policy that they have opportunities, and we tell them in a notice that the third, here's your second notice of violation. If you don't comply, thank you, then we need, this is what will happen to you. But we need to say, as a council, that's what we're gonna do. And we need to let Ron and David know that, I mean, there are significant things that Ron cites here. You've seen them, some of you
I've seen
haven't.
sometimes he does tell
Right.
us that it's been resolved.
Sometimes he does, but many times, I'm not sure. And that's all I was wanting, based on a conversation that I've had with our zoning officer. So that's all. I don't expect an answer tonight, but if you wish to consider it, if you don't think it's an issue, we won't address it. I think it is. I would love to see it discussed further.
We can put it.
I would love to see it on an unfinished business, and let's see, I'd like David to speak, and I'd like to talk to Ron between now and the next meeting, and tell him it's here, and what does he think? And if we could continue with it, I'd appreciate it.
Put it in.
Unfinished business.
Unfinished.
I make a motion that we come up with a list of remedies that we could use as a council for addressing violations. You know, mitigating remedies that we can utilize, and it'd be sequential lists, and we address
You
this in
have
the
30
future.
days. to do
Correct,
something.
30 days to do X, 31 to 59 to do Y, so on and so forth.
Any more discussion? All
Thank
those
you
in
for your
favor?
attention.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, I have a question.
There you go.
What do we do with E? Is it going to unfinished business or?
Yeah, what?
E. What do we do with that? Going on unfinished business or?
I think because it's being addressed elsewhere, I would think for now we could remove it. Oh, that's my thought. I
Yeah,
mean,
it is.
There was a published notice of a meeting that we held at 6 o'clock with an executive session on this issue. So I hope everybody understood that.
Need a motion to remove.
Okay, G, the annual employee appreciation luncheon, which we have every year, but the town council has to approve it, so that we can pay for it.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Yeah.
Yeah, I started it years ago, and I'm glad to see it continue. I thought it was a good thing to do, to show these folks a little thank you.
Thanks, Kyle.
Look.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I wasn't looking for that.
For consideration, closure of all town offices on Friday, December 26th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Second. Any discussion?
Well, that's nice. Because I was here one day when somebody on the staff said, couldn't we just have the next day off? And we said, let's put it on the agenda, am I right, Liz? And look at that, right off the bat, yes and yes.
All those in favor?
I move the question. Aye. Aye.
I abstain from that vote.
Because his wife works here.
Because my wife works for the town hall.
Yeah.
Boy, we got stuff.
It's still got approved, so it's okay, right?
Still got approved.
Okay, unfinished business, the future town hall, 742 10-Yard Road, initial planning, need assessment, request for qualifications, facility layout and design. And Ken, you have 3.
Talk to us.
We have 3, I wouldn't say winners, but they'll score out 1, 2, and 3, and those are 3, starting with number 1 that we'd like to, if you approve, to start negotiating the contracted rates. And so,
I know it's December, but could we maybe do all of that this month?
I would start on it tomorrow if you approve it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will we be providing a detailed scope of work of what we want to be completed there?
Yeah, well, they will be providing that, the detailed scope. We can give them what we want.
Well, yeah, of course, well, we need to define the scope.
Right,
They don't define the scope.
yes.
Okay.
We'll tell them what we want, and
Right.
they'll create it, so.
Yeah.
I just have to, if you approve this, then I have to, Ken said he would be there to support whoever's gonna do negotiations, and I don't know, if the same, if Mike and Bill would both be willing to do it, the 3 of us.
Oh, that's great.
And I don't even know if we need 3 people, but it might be a good idea. But just remember, if we go for 1, we go to, as approved here, we go to the first group, and we don't, come to agreement on their costs, we start, and they're out of it now, we go to the second, and then the third. So there's no negotiating between all 3.
Correct.
Just so you know.
Okay, so you need a motion to go ahead and approve
The top 3.
the top 3.
Yeah.
And can I put, and do it in December, so we can do it
By the meeting,
Yeah.
by the January meeting.
Have it by
Right.
January.
If we had it done quicker, we might have a
Quicker.
special meeting.
Better.
And I know Nancy's saying it's slow, and everybody thinks it's slow, but you know what, it's not, we didn't create the laws and the purchasing requirements, and it just takes time. Council meets once a month, we might have to do something in January, on December.
I make a motion to approve it, and then also to, for the council to consider a special meeting to expedite the processes, prior to the January meeting.
I second that.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Oh, discussion, please. I know we spent a lot of time on some other issues, but this one I really feel for, because we think we need a wall to create 2 new offices. That's what was determined, some time ago. And then I really like the idea of a main entrance being created in the back, so people can park in the back and come in to vote from the back lot, so to speak. So they come right into the main area. And I think that's, this is Joe's question, like, what exactly are we doing? And is there more than that? What are we saying? How do we go out, how do we talk to somebody about, I don't understand what we do with these architects if we are not telling them, here's what we need. Is that,
We will get them on board first.
is that the plan?
Yeah.
Oh, you get them on board and then you tell them what we need
And you provide them the scope of work,
They'll come in with the council.
afterwards.
identify the costs.
Of a work they don't know. I'm fascinated by this.
No, they're feet per hour.
Okay, what they would charge per whatever, okay. And I'd just like to say to Nancy's point, she says they'll go up there and they'll work around construction, which I would think is possible, and I think that's what you're asking.
Actually, that's a huge insurance violation.
Well, then could we talk about this, please? If it is, I'd just like to know if the trust won't insure if there's construction going on, that there are people working. I don't know, isn't there construction going on in this building now and then? Is that an insurance violation?
Not to that degree.
Well, it's a different issue, I know. So, I'm just, Nancy, I'm giving it a shot, but it doesn't look like,
But I was in the building with Ken the other day, and some of the ideas they have for the building, I couldn't be in there.
oh, okay, sorry, I'm not going to bat for you. Well, I thought you
No.
said you'd like to go there now.
I would, but the proposal of what, the scope of what they're looking to do, the room I would have technically gone into, it won't be there. So, I just need to get in there by March.
Okay, well, they is Ken, I guess, they is Ken and Bill and somebody, I don't know. Okay, enough, Diane, go ahead, please.
Sorry, 2 suggestions for the building as a butter on 2.5 sides of it. To maximize the future potential and flexibility, 2 things I would suggest if you can do it. One would be to try and see if there's any possibility of reactivating that community grant that we gave up, which was a few $100,000 which would be very helpful in renovations. And the second would be reactivating the community well that is on the back of the property, so the building is not traffic limited in terms of how many people it can handle per day.
Anyone on the council have anything else to say?
Nope.
We have a motion on the floor and a second.
What was the motion, please?
That
I know
was-
we did a lot of talking here. What was the motion, please?
It was a motion
To approve
to approve
The three firms.
the three firms.
Three firms.
And going ahead with it
Thank
and
you.
having
The
it done
RFQ.
by
Some contract rate negotiations.
December.
council to consider a special meeting.
A special
to expedite
consider-
the
Correct.
process.
special meeting
Okay,
earlier.
Thank you.
Who seconded that?
Basic.
Jamie.
Wasn't it 7?
Okay.
So like 6 or 7.
Okay, if there's no more discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
New Road and 10 Road intersections, traffic safety issue, survey for possible visibility and safety.
How you doing? Yeah, so we've gotten a survey company and we just waiting to be on his schedule. This time of year it's kind of tight. We did line striping, we put up a mirror, I guess it's going okay. It's a little better, it's not the fix. It's not what I like to see, but we gotta get a survey before I can even move towards the state, which probably has most of the property there. So they should be able to help, once we find the borders, state, private, town. That's what we're looking for. And then we can determine what can be done, if anything, which I believe something can be done, but we need to get that survey, and I'm still waiting. We have the guy, I did the bidding thing, and it was below the limits where I have to put it out to bid, so I went to the lowest quote and the quickest time to get it done. So I'd leave it on there and I'd have more information as it,
Thank you.
comes.
Thank you, Ralph.
Okay, C is request for state police patrol, Mill Pond Road, Yaga Valley Road, and Liberty Road.
So there's nobody here from this, I'm gonna take this off the agenda. Because they were saying they're gonna be talking to a state rep about it, but they weren't here last meeting, and I gave them this meeting, I kept it on, so I'm gonna take it off.
D, former town dump, 10 Rod Road, current construction activities. Here are two areas we're talking about. One's across from the dump, and the other one's kind of down the road there, a smaller piece. I'm not sure which ones we're really talking about, both of them, or?
Well, my reference is the one that's across from, just before you get to the split, the 10 Rod Road and Victory Highway. From here, it's on the right, and there are trucks and piles, and I've spoken to David. David,
Yeah, they
didn't you investigate that?
They were actually issued 2 violations on October 24th. His attorney came in, they filed an appeal, but I placed a cooperative phone call to the landfill closure department of DEM, and they've since put a cease and desist on them. So our citations are pretty much a stay now, because now the state has stepped in. Yeah.
If the state's taken over, should we remove it then?
I think we could.
I make a motion, we do.
We can, remove it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll keep everybody
I wish
up to
you
date,
would,
on,
thank
you
you.
know, as things progress. Because, I mean, they were cited with the Article 5, 5.2D, with the commercial vehicles over 20,000 pounds being stored in a residential area. And they're still there, but because, like I said, because DEM took over, we're kind of out of it right now.
So we're removing that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Status R 1250 Commission, Exeter Historic Preservation Commission. See anyone here from?
I did hear that they're supposed to be meeting tomorrow night, I think at 6, but I know it's fledgling, it's a fledgling group, so, you know, they're trying to do some stuff.
I'll leave that up.
I think you should, so that if they've got some news to share, they can share it.
Communications. Calvin. You have 3, 6, and 13.
Yes, three was the one about the issue on Yorgo Valley Road and the lady who had written, and says, she respectfully requests that the town, Rhode Island State Fire Marshal conduct an immediate inspection, enforce removal of unnecessary and registered vehicles, establish a monitoring plan to prevent the recurrence. And I think, David, have you been working on that?
Yeah,
haven't you?
been to the property 3 times. We're actually working on issuing violations under Article 4, Section 4.2.4, Article 4, Section 4.2.5, Article 2, Section 2.4.1-49, and Article 2, Section 2.4.1-58.
David, is this the place where there was a fire?
Yes, and that's the main reason that came to our attention.
Yeah.
It's definitely a safety hazard. Not only for the occupants of the house itself, because the driveway is so long, there's no access for first responders, but for abutting neighbors.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I heard a report here of over 40 vehicles.
39.
Oh, 39.
39.
Just under.
And
Well, that's kind of a lot.
38 if
We're counting the fire
you
vehicle.
don't count the car that's parked in easement of Yago Valley Road.
Well, I don't know if, I'm sure that this lady knows about you working on it.
She does know. I have been
Should-
in correspondence with her.
Okay, well, thank you. That's why I removed it, and I appreciate you being there. As I told David, in the 20 years that I sat here, a former zoning inspector was never at a single meeting, so I really appreciate David being here. Number 6, if you wish me to deal with
Yes.
that one. Ms. Nancy Roth, she's an ambitious lady, some of you know of her. She asked for a pet food bank, which I think is fascinating, but here's my thought. I'd like to thank her for her interest. My thought is that if it's pet food, wouldn't it be great for her to speak to our animal control officers and see if they wouldn't like her to help orchestrate something around the shelter? Like, to me, that would make
I
the
know.
most sense.
I donate stuff, and I know a lot of other people, you can just leave it outside.
Outside,
It's like a little alcove there.
yeah, well,
We
have you
gave a
talked
copy.
with her?
I gave a copy to Dina. Dina
Yes.
talked to me and was gonna talk to Rob, so Rob has something to say.
Okay, Rob,
Did you have something to say first? No? Yes. Yeah, I spoke with Ms. Roth, and I'd like to entertain the possibility of actually doing it here. Other communities doing it, it's by the residents in Richmond, they're like Richmond, Warwick, they're westerly, there's a few out there, and so, and I guess the person who runs it down in Richmond, they only get a few hours here and there, but I see it as it could be something separate from the animal control under, you know, not manned by them, by other people. And I'm actually considering the transfer station site because it gets more activity. And so say if you need a kennel, okay, so there's kennels, there's about 50 of them up in my at the animal control right now, but nobody knows that, it's not advertised. And I'm trying to work on that with them, but this would be somewhere with someone who has a pet or say a relative sick and they need this crate just for a little bit of time, you'd be able to get one there. And then you could return it when you're done with it, and pet food as well. I want to visit other ones. If we could leave this on, I'd like to visit other ones while they're in operation, talk to the people who are running it, and also who's going to man it. You know, so I have a lot of questions, but I also think the donations that get dropped off at our animal control are unorganized and just dropped on the front step. This would be a more organized, and it could be sorted through by someone who that's their job, not some attendant that they're feeding the animals and they get the stuff and they're just packing it in containers and taking up space, and so that it's a little bit of disorganized the way it is donated over there. Yes, it's great and they get a lot of food and they get a lot of donations. However, I think if we get something a little more organized, it might be easier for folks who need it at the time they need it to get some of the stuff and a certain spot to donate stuff if that's what you want to do.
Well, well, now that you say that, there might be some kind of a receptacle that you could
Well, yeah,
create to put.
she mentioned she wants to buy a shed, but then I'm like, we already have like rat problems, infestations, and I'm fighting and battling that all the time, so it would have to be tight, airtight,
But there
pest
could
control.
be such a thing, I would think, right?
I think
to
so
put-
too. I just would like to have an opportunity to go visit some more, talk some more, and see if we could accommodate.
Do you wanna leave it on?
I do.
Yeah.
Let me do a little legwork and see if something we
Yeah,
could do, and
that sounds
placement. I think placement's key to get the more foot traffic, and that's why I figured that the dump, a lot of residents run through there, like, and it'd just be another spot that they wanted to, you know, see what's available and have somebody, you know, it's all volunteer, we couldn't possibly. So that's a whole nother, who's manning it and stuff, there's a lot of questions.
Unfinished
Sounds
business.
like she
Well,
was.
can I talk to?
Question.
I think the transfer station, as Rob said, is a perfect spot for it, because it's centralized. You know, people from this end of the town and people from this end of the town, it's pretty much right in the middle. And I'd like to volunteer to help Rob out in any way I could.
That'd be great.
Oh,
And
Dave?
Ms. Russ would like to know, because
they sure can,
she
too.
said she'll give up her meals just to be able to feed the pets, so she cares.
So I'll let her know.
Would you mind
And
letting her know?
I'm in contact with her too, so I'm
Yeah.
talking to her on the phone.
So you
Yeah, yeah, I mean, tell her where it's going.
Tell her we didn't ignore her.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think it was 16.
Oh, well, this is just a communication asking that we consider a host of violations at 94 Bay Schoolhouse Road, which I hope you've seen. And we pretty much addressed all of them, and this is just a supporting communication, I would say. Thank you, Diane.
Do you want to take a 5-minute recess?
Please.
Yes.
For the executive session?
Did you ever?
I'll make a motion, we take a 5 recess.
Yeah, it seems to be in the right, it still lines up.
All in favor, say aye. Second by Joe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Joe, to hold you